2017 General Information Session. Thank you for joining us and for deciding to get involved this Earth Day. Today we will be running through our vision for Earth Day 2017 events and explaining the resources we have put together to help make our goal of environmental and climate literacy a reality. After, we will take some time to answer any questions you might have. Let's get started. The first Earth Day took place on April 22, 1970, and activated over 20 million Americans from all walks of life and is widely credited with launching the modern environment movement. 20 years later, Earth Day went global, mobilizing 200 million people in 141 countries and lifting environmental issues onto the world stage. More than 1 billion people now participate in Earth Day events each year, making it the largest civic observance in the world. We are gearing up 50th anniversary of Earth Day in 2020. Climate change and 21st century environmental justice are some of the world's most complex. Education is the foundation for progress. We need to build a global citizenry fluent in the concepts of climate change and aware of its unprecedented threat to our planet. We need to empower everyone with the knowledge to inspire action in defense of environmental protection. An educated populace will be able to internalize environmental values and become good stewards to our environment. Our goal for Earth 17 is to tackle the lack of environmental and climate literacy around the world. Why? We believe that if everyone fully understood the climate consensus around the need to act, people will become informed on the best ways to act and innovate creative solutions to address these problems. To further this, promoting the idea of the teach-in to be the central focus of your Earth Day events. We have developed two toolkits for your general Earth Day event, the Earth Day Action Toolkit and the Teach-in Toolkit. The Earth Day Action Toolkit, or Earth Day in a Box, was created so that you create tangible change by organizing and coordinating Earth Day events in your local community. The Earth Day Action Toolkit gives you the steps necessary to holding a Earth Day event, regardless of what you choose to do. The Earth Day Action Toolkit lays out all the steps to holding a successful Earth Day event. It offers suggestions to hold, such as a teach-in, the focus of 2017, or tree planting, the signature event of Earth Day 2017. And it gives examples of key messages surrounding Earth Day that will then help you to create messaging that speaks to your community. The toolkit lays out the steps for launching a successful media campaign, providing both a timeline for release and samples of media advisories and press releases. Finally, it gives several suggestions on methods for building interest in your event and maximize attendance. The second toolkit is specific to Earth Day teach-ins. The teach-in, again, is our suggested event this year as it supports our theme. Teach-ins are discussions or lectures based around a certain issue. Earth Day Network knows that grassroots activism with teach-in is one of the best ways to build a literate in environmental issues, including climate change and comprehensive civic action. Teach-ins were successfully employed on the first Earth Day. Those actions brought about the passage of the Clean Air, Clean Water, and Endangered Species Acts. At these teach-ins, global citizens will gather to learn about local environmental issues and develop the civic engagement techniques necessary to take action. The teach-in concept was successfully utilized at many events on the 1970 when concerned citizens gathered to learn about the environmental damage that was happening to their planet and learn what they could do to stop it. We are returning to this tested teach-in method again this year, the 47th anniversary of the first Earth Day. And to assist you in holding the best Earth and teach-in, we have created some materials to guide you through the process. The Environmental Teach-in Toolkit provides you with all the information you need to go from idea to a well-executed and publicized event with three primary objectives: to educate your community about environmental and climate issues that have direct local impacts, to promote the internalization of environmental values, and to empower your community with the civic engagement and climate issues. At the end of a teach-in, your audience should walk away informed and ready to take pointed, specific action on climate and other issues. Inside of the process of creating an event. For a successful event, proper planning and preparation is key. Organizers should form an organizing committee to support the event and facilitate day of logistics. Next, you should recruit relevant and influential program speakers, including community leaders, celebrities, or politicians. Afterwards, delegate a moderator to keep the program running smoothly, to field questions, and to stimulate discussion among the participants. Once you've selected a good moderator, it's time to create an agenda. The purpose of the agenda is to keep the teach-in on schedule and goal-oriented. Be sure to include a strong introductory speech explaining the purpose of the event. Incorporate viewership of the live stream of the teach-ins on the National Mall. Discuss the main issues affecting your community and tangible them. Leave time at the end of your agenda for a closing speech with next steps. After the agenda is set, organizers should begin community outreach. The effectiveness of your teach-in depends entirely on attendance. Reach out to your entire community, not just environmentalists, to an inclusive and diverse event. And lastly, coordinate the pre-event logistics of your event, including time, location, and any equipment needed. Give your stated. Now that we've given an overview of what our teach-in toolkit contains, what in a more a hyper-online advocacy group in town decides to hold a teach-in on Earth Day. The toolkit helps them select a strong set of speakers that include a local water quality expert, an environmental science professor from a nearby university, and a former city clerk that has a long history of supporting environmental legislation. The toolkit also provides guidance for creating an agenda. The organizers plan for 2 segments of discussion with this. The first discussion occurs with quality experts and the environmental science professor, discussing specifically the impacts coal power generation has on global climate change, as well as the local impacts felt as a result of renewed waste dumping by the plant into the local river upstream of the town. The second discussion welcomes in the former city council member who discusses the policy shift repealing the EPA's regulation on coal power plant waste being released into rivers and streams. He proposes and explains actions communities can take to actively fight against the environmental damage that might be caused and enforce local environmental legislations prohibiting the plant from dumping into the river. As a result of these efforts, the town is now saved from potential environmental damage, and the community is empowered with the knowledge and experience in protection of our environment. The goal of an Earth Day 27 teach-in is to educate your community about global environmental issues, how these issues impact your local area, and then empower and mobilize your community to take informed civic action. With this new surge in political interest, many citizens find themselves wondering how they can get involved in their community. Your event should prepare to answer the question, what can I do right now? A proper teach-in will serve as a guide for where your community is lacking in environmental protection and what your community can specifically do to address these hazards. Teach-ins differ from panel discussions and are designed to identify a specific issue and then tackle that issue head-on. Teach-ins have 2 very important components: local causes, an educated, long-lasting, and collective civic action on the environment, strength in numbers. If this is your first shot organizing an event, great. Hopefully you feel a little more confident in your ability to do so now. Here's some more tips for creating a successful Earth Day event. Engage with local community organizations, politicians, or businesses that have the skills needed to help you pull off your event. Invite speakers who can bring concrete tasks for audience members to accomplish through civic action. VIP guests can draw even bigger crowds. Consider weather, accessibility, and space when deciding on a location for your event. If your event is going to be outside, make sure you have a rain plan in case the weather is too bad for you to be able to continue to have your event outside. Make sure that you have a backup for these kinds of scenarios. Utilize social media, especially Facebook and Twitter, early and often to get information out about your event. Consider using hashtags like #EarthDay2017 or other relevant ones. Create an online sign-up sheet so you have an idea of how many to expect. But remember that you understand and can communicate with your community better than anyone else. You should use the tools that we provide you as a guide, but retain your own lens of perspective. Keep in mind the needs and wants of your own community, and then figure out the very best way to communicate the urgency of action on the climate. Now that you have all of the tools and information that you need to create your community event, please be sure to register the event on our website at earthday.org/register. Organizations interested in being an official partner of Earth Day Network for Earth Day 2017 should download our partnership agreement form on earthday.org/register and send it back to info@earthday.org. Be sure to tag all of your photos and tweets with #EarthDay2017 and include our organization's handle @EarthDayNetwork. If you're around DC, Earth Day Network is proud to co-organize the DC March for Science Rally and Teach-In on the National Mall on April 22nd. We'd love to see you there. Thank you for participating in the Earth Day Network 2017 General Information Session. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot us an email at info@earthday.org, and we will get back to you very shortly. We hope that you will continue to take informed action on our environment. Happy Earth Day, and thank you again.